Good morning once again, and welcome back to Freedom Square Live on Solid 100.9 FM. Of course, we began the introduction. We talked about what's going on in Nigeria in the past 1 month. Most political parties have had their congresses, they've had their primaries. And if you are following the social media, the conventional television or radio, of course, you will know that in many states, many political parties are experiencing very toxic relationships. People are porting, leaving parties to other parties because they felt shortchanged in their congresses and in their primaries and all that. Incidentally, that is not happening like that in a state in the southeast. That state is the Enugu state. It's not that there are not a few, one or two things, even in a family. When you have contestations, people are bound to have issues. But the level it is managed, it does not snowball into a very open, dirty confrontation. It what caught our attention, and that is why this morning we have invited the man who sits at the saddle of the APC in Enugu State. They've had their congresses across all the local governments and all the wards. They've had their primaries. They were elected candidates for the local government elections. They were elected candidates for the House of Assembly seats. They were elected candidates for the House of Representative seats. They've done so for the Senate. And they have done so for the ultimate prize, the gold prize in any state, which is the governorship. And if you had your ears on the ground like I did, I've not seen anybody run to national television to talk about, no, we should change it. So it would appear to have been peaceful as it could be in a political season like this. And so we are being joined this morning by a man, I say, a cat with 9 lives. Why do I say so? This man presided over the PDP in Enugu State. And when there was a time to do a transition, normally, you weren't expecting that after the transition he was going to survive. There was a transition from the PDP to APC, and unanimously he also survived. And that's a testament to, well, God's luck, God's work, and who he is. We have only confidence in the PDP, and when PDP and the APC merged, said no, there's no better person than to lead the party than him. He is a Knight of St. Paul, he's a medical doctor, he's a family man, he's a party man, he's a good Christian. He is Dr. Martin Chukwunwike. He is the chairman of the APC Enugu State. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to have you. This has been a long journey for you. I'm sure there were times when you were also struggling like those who are struggling. But God decided it was time for you to get elected and re-elected. And each time I see you, I say, look, whatever it is that has happened, for which you have, people have this confidence in you, please keep it up. Okay, our time is going to be short, but we're going to run. APC Enugu State, like I said, had their congresses, they've had their ward, they've elected everybody that's supposed to run an election for them in Enugu State. And it's being praised. What you've done in Enugu is being praised as being peaceful and transparent. How did you manage to choose inclusion over exclusion? But that's what it is. So how did you, working with the governor, how did you manage to have this peace? Because there's peace in Enugu State.
Yeah.
At least Enugu State APC. There's peace. So how did you navigate that? Coming from PDP, come to APC, much more fractions. But now, like you have one united family. Tell us.
Thank you very much. Well, the congresses, the primaries, like you said, have come and gone. And we usually prepare beforehand for such things. And the governor, Dr. Mbah, is one one person who you know his background, coming from private sector, knowing how to manage human beings. Because if you have a private sector experience, one of your attributes was how to manage people. Otherwise, your outfit will not be anything to go talk about. Now, before each of those things, we usually do what we call consultation. We talk with people who are the people who belong to the party. Even before we moved from PDP to APC, there was serious consultation. It was a unanimous thing by all the major stakeholders that we should move, looking at what was ahead. And he took that decision to move. Then, in preparing for the congresses, there were consultations. The consultations usually center around what we call zoning and rotation. Whatever you're doing and you take zoning into consideration, you will not have problem. That is, zoning means if A goes, after A, B goes, after B, C goes, and D goes, then it comes back to A. That's what we call rotation. And the zoning is even the governorship in 2023, we stuck seriously onto zoning. We also had a book launch sometime that talked about zoning in Enugu State. If once you follow zoning, you can never get it wrong. People will always follow you. And why do we do zoning? All the communities, all the states, all the governments do not have equal population. If you say the winner takes all, no zoning, one particular people or set will be winning all the time. That's even why in Nigeria you have this rotation and zoning. After the north goes, the south goes, things like that. So when we did the consultations, it was clear to us in the congresses where the board chairman, the government chairman, as in party, and state execos will come from. The last person who was chairman in Enugu State of the party is not from my zone. I happen to come from Enugu West. That last person was from Enugu East senatorial zone. So naturally, we knew it was coming to Enugu West. If someone from Enugu East starts contesting for it, he might not score zero. But since we know where it's going to, it will just bring some kind of discord and disorderliness. So that thing we did for the congresses, we also did it for the primaries. Before the primaries were done, the governor, leading all the other people, had the serious consultation with the areas involved, with the entire state. And we knew that, for example, the Senate, if it came from this, in that senatorial zone, if it came from this government, that government or that constituency will not produce again until it has gone around. So we'll move to the next constituency, whose turn it is. And from there, you have raised the number of people who are contesting. And from there, you now get those who are interested, who are our real party members. So that was done for Senate, done for House of Reps, and for House of Assembly. And such things were put into consideration. That is why, at the end, we now had what we call a rancor-free primaries and no much confrontation. I wouldn't say that people contested even when they knew it wasn't their turn. And there are people who also said, okay, they say it's zone to us, we'll contest. If two people from the same place is zone to contest, we will usually find a way of agreeing among themselves. One person will say, okay, let this one go. If they contest, whoever wins is returned. And since there is a contest, the two contestants, or three, will agree that whoever wins will be returned. And that's what has happened. Some of those places where we had two contestants, after the winning, the His Excellency has even had to touch base with the two people, both the person who won and the person who lost. And they will now agree to work together in the interest of the party. If you don't do that, you say, now you have won, go and deliver yourself. But it wasn't going to be that way. You have won, we will agree to work together. I've been through that kind of road several times, starting from chairmanship, local government, to House of Reps. Once you're a party person and you lose the election, the next thing is you ask, how do we move forward to make sure the party returns at the general election? So that was what happened. That's what the idea the governor had, which he used to the utmost level of what you call importance, and it paid off. That's why in Enugu state, we hear what's happening in many other states and many other parties. Then when we moved from PDP to APC, what happened was in forming the new structure, the two parties, not just the two, even the Labour people came in, and we all formed a structure by all the parties involved. Because if we now said, let's go and just have an election, those who are in PDP will have won everything because PDP was majority. But it didn't go that way. It was a dialogue, it was a consultation, and we said for us to move ahead, we have to agree to work together, and we're working together. And all those things, some of the candidates who have emerged, some of them belong to what we call old PDP, some belong to the old APC. So it's not as if PDP is taking everything or APC is taking everything. We have put everything into consideration, something that will make us to survive and be formidable in the general election.
Yes, you talk PDP, you talk APC. There's one you are leaving, chairman of the PDP. There was one first move you made. Maybe you may have forgotten that. And I recall when I called you, asked you what really happened. Were you actually there? And that was, so to speak, the conversion of Edoga back to PDP. Because Edoga contested the election and he was one person, people were looking up to. And when you became chairman, I remember it was done. It was not in the open. We knew. Well, now you had a meeting, and the next thing, Edoga returned to PDP. It was significant for me. It marked the first bold step you took as chairman. Okay, when you moved to APC, moved to APC. But one thing is like a promise kept made and a promise kept. How did you manage that? Edoga is now a candidate, if I'm right.
Yeah.
For House of Reps.
Yes.
So,
well, like you said, the big catch then, like it said that it wasn't one meeting, it was several meetings. I even went to Abuja several times. And Edoga is a very, very reasonable person. He's a politician to the core. And when I approached him, one of the things he was talking about is that some people want him to say you have to lead the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you don't lead the opposition at no cost. It is costly to lead the opposition. And that he has seen that what the governor is doing in Enugu State is what maybe he himself had in mind to do. Maybe he couldn't have done as much. And when I now, after speaking to him, went to the governor said he's ready to talk with him. And Edoga was like, he's not sure that even if it was him that won the election, he would have been ready to speak to the person who lost. But he respected the wisdom in Peter Mbah in accepting him when he came back. And it's not as if there was something on the table as a negotiation. He came back fully to be a member of the party, which was his original party after all. He was in PDP until after the primaries. When he couldn't make it, then went to Labour. Now, having come over, he started working with us. He was instrumental to all the other members who were in Labour returning to PDP. A lot of them who were in House of Reps. They returned to us in PDP. There are some who actually also went to APC straight from Labour. But it didn't really matter. When we started negotiating, everything was thrown bare. And whoever had better chances was not being selected. So Edoga's conversion to PDP then was very significant, and we don't take it for granted at all. The idea that he now is now going to House of Reps for issues of and then East constituency is remarkable, because some people were even saying that when you do naysayers, people who like confrontation, you shouldn't accept anything less than senatorial. But he himself, being a politician, knows that being inside is better than being outside. One guy says that he prefer to be a cleaner in heaven than to be a chairman in hell. So you know the difference. I believe that with Edoga's candidacy and the other things that happen even in that issues of government, issues is now a peaceful place for us. It used to be a hotbed and flashpoint for us. But with Edoga and then Namani being in the ballot, a lot of things have been solved.
Okay, let me talk about consolidation. Governor Peter Mbah's visionary leadership. The APC in Enugu State has adopted a position or a posture of absolute loyalty to Governor Peter Mbah. And they are determined, as it were, to return him come February 6th next year. How have you been able to manage this politics without bitterness? Because I've been a player here in the States, and I know it's always been this peaceful. You know, after nominations, a lot of people lost. And I'm looking at the bitterness that always came with it. You've tried to explain it, but this absolutely to the governor. Tell me, why is the party taking that stand?
Well, I don't think it's just loyalty by the party. If I say loyalty by the entire Enugu state, it might be an overstatement. But there are a few people, I can say less than 10% of people, who have seen what Dr. Peter Mbah has done and failed to acknowledge it. Such people are just usually put themselves in what I call internal turmoil, because your mind will tell you this man is doing well. Another man will tell you, don't support him. He's not of you. He's not of your party. Now, the loyalty stems from the fact that the governor came and he did marvelously so well. He overlooked everything and concentrated in making Enugu State what he wanted to be. From his manifesto, he has taken everything one by one. And he is not somebody who want to be thinking of his own. He's not somebody who are thinking of his people. He's someone who thinks of people who are working for the party, people who are interested in the progress of the party, and he's ready to listen to them. It's not somebody who is always ready to listen to people who are coming to complain about individuals. But if you are working with him and you are producing something, you know, in that government, most of us who are in the government have almost had a little bit of what you might call a business school experience because of our SSG. In this government, you have what we call KPI. That is, the government will tell you to remain focused. That KPI means key performance indicators. Whatever you are doing, it must be an indicator that you get and you're looking at to see if what you're doing is working. If you have a KPI to do like a 2-kilometer roads in every government, and by the end of 6 months, at the end of that 6 months, if you have not done it, you have failed. But if you have it in mind and you work towards it, you must achieve it. And when you achieve it, you do thumbs up to yourself. So why people are so loyal to him is that, I can say, he's selfless. He has sacrificed a lot. That governor comes to...
He's still a guy.
comes to office by 8 o'clock every day. And there's no way he goes before 10, 11 p.m. He's always busy, having meetings. And in between, every day, he still goes to do his afternoon worship in the chapel. That is, again, getting strength from God. So I believe that God is on his side because he has kept faith with him. And people of Enugu State have seen what he's doing. Who has done anything like that in the recent time? Nobody. So I still think that is why the loyalty is absolute. And I don't see it changing.
Okay. I recall in our other political engagement, I see if one is at an open.
Yes.
Governor Peter Mbah has initiated quite unprecedented projects in Enugu State, like touching virtually every ward. If it's not the hospital, it's the school. If it's not the school, it's the road. You know, in one way or the other, there are quite a couple of things that that's going on, and this I think they call the legacy projects. They're happening virtually everywhere. And so, in your opinion, which of these projects would you consider most vital for our future? But there's so many of them. Okay, the other day we visited myself and the group the upcoming 300-bed specialist hospital, and we were like, ooh! And I just watched the governor talk on radio, on TV, just not long ago, the vision of that hospital. Okay, so there are several projects. But of course, even when you write an exam in 6 subjects, you must rank them. So what do you as chairman think that these XYZ, close to your heart, close to the APC's heart, that would make 2027 seamless?
Well, like I said, all of them are important. But I think the ones that touch all the wards, the ones that everybody's feeling in this state, are the ones that might make a very big impression in the mind of the Enugu. We have a 100-bed hospital coming up, but it's not for everybody. It's just in Enugu. But we have ICC, International Conference Center, again, another big signature project. That is for those who come for conference in Enugu and those who live in Enugu. We also have the presidential hotel, renovated. But when you look at the voters, the rural people, the grassroots, the one that's getting to them directly are the Green Smart Schools, the Type 2 health centers, and the rural roads that are happening there. That's the one that will, somebody in Ida or in Amuri or will now see and say, so this kind of thing can be happening. And all these places where you're having these smart schools, if it's the place that is not with road, they do roads in that place in addition. So the people are happy seeing that. So government can actually be doing something in our community. Over many years, many communities have not seen any government presence in their place. Now you see also the health centers. Most communities had health centers before, but now they are being replaced by the one we call Type 2 health centers. This one is going to be not up to, but it's very close to the general hospital, because you're going to have doctor 247, you're going to have nurses. They even have nurses quarters, and all of them will have ambulances. They will have facilities to take care of anybody. 247 services. So those ones, they have the school and the health center and the roads. And again, even the empowerment that is coming, because people have been given appointments across the state, either from the local government or from the state. These are things that are impacting the people, and these are ones that I feel are touching the grassroots, touching the low, everybody. And these are people who are the voters, not those who use Enugu Air, because the population of those who use Enugu Air and those who are going to vote, I don't think it's up to 0.5% of the voters in Enugu State. But it's a very, very strong Enugu Air. It's about Enugu. So that's it.
Okay. Dr. Martin Chumuke, not because you are chairman of APC or PDP, you have publicly expressed your total support for Governor Peter Mbah. It was Olusegun Obasanjo who says that loyalty you should give in politics should not be 99.9. It should be total. And I've interviewed you on several occasions, and you expressed it publicly, your confidence, your total support. Now, in Enugu, Enugu West Senatorial Zone had also had a massive rally. It's like an affirmation to your support. And they said, look, this is where we stand as a people. The Enugu North had also followed suit. And today, you look like you're dressed for education. It's like you're dressed for education.
Obviously.
So, Enugu East, the home senatorial zone of the governor, is also ruling out the red carpets. I'm sure I've listened to you talk about this expert support, and now they are following suit to do that. How does that make you feel?
Well, I feel good about it. Being the chairman of the party, because why do I attend all the rallies? Because I'm the chairman of the party. They are coming to support them as far as them. Now, they are candidates. He has won his primary. So, we'll be there. We expect nothing less than total support, total mobilization. The Enugu Senatorial Zone is their turn to do it today, and it's their son that is the governor. And now that they're doing it last, we expect them to have studied what happened in the north, what happened in the west, and know how to beat everybody to it by showing that we are thanking you people for endorsing our son. These two senatorial zones now want to show you that he's really our son. I think this endorsement has been a show of likeness by everybody of Governor Peter Mbah. He has done exceedingly well, and when he talks about the smart schools, he will tell you that this government has done like over 7,000 classrooms in 3 years. In some states, you see people coming to say they are commissioning 200 classrooms. Because they have done secondary school in some states. But what is happening in Enugu in terms of smart school, some president, sometimes he will say something like, it is insane. So because nobody will think that it's going to be done. But like I said, by the time we finish those schools and people begin to enjoy those schools, especially we expect by September, most of them will have been ready. By the time it starts rolling out OPLs, you'll be surprised. Like I told you the other time, we were not schooling when such things were happening. Most of us still don't see it on computers, but on internet. But it's something that has drawn everybody's attention, admiration for the governor. Some of us still don't even understand how it's going to be. Some will tell you, yes, I'm going to renovate schools. Go to renovate schools and still live in those blackboard things. And what they're going to do now is going to be something you ain't seen nothing yet, like he also says sometimes. So I think that this rally of today is just going to consolidate all the endorsements so far. And now we did our endorsement in the north and in the west when he was still when he was not yet even an aspirant, he was still the governor. But now he has been crowned the candidate for APC. And I haven't seen a candidate in another party anyway.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that very shortly. His Excellency Governor Peter Mbah had often talked about the benefits of connecting to the center. And that was like a propelling force why he left the PDP. And he was like, was prophetic. Like he saw the turmoil that was going to befall the PDP. And what we are saying, he was elected under the platform of PDP. Why is he leaving? I guess he saw tomorrow. Don't know that tomorrow is here, he saw tomorrow. And then said, look, I will not let my people wallow in this toxic party. And then he made that choice. Now, connected to the center was a central message he was. Now, so what leverage can you say is happening between your office as chairman of APC and that of the National Party office, and how has that translated into federal government presence in Enugu State?
Well, it's not far-fetched. One is that it's true we had a minister even before then, and now when we joined, we had a more, what you might call a more friendly, reliable, people-oriented minister, and that was because we joined the center. A lot of things have happened since we joined the center. We are hearing about NDDC, the development something in Niger Delta. We started hearing one in the north. We were clamoring for Southeast Development Commission. Never came. This government brought it to us. And one of us also who was in our PDP then turned out to be a very strong member of that Southeast Development Commission. Then we know that Enugu Airport has been a long time. As I say, it became international, but that international nature of it never really worked very well. There's been a recent concession to a conglomerate to run that airport in collaboration with the Enugu State government, and that was done because we have joined the center. If you're not in the center, you can't even go to negotiate such things. Like the government said, by July, probably like next month, at least the next 2 months, we'll be having international flights from Enugu Airport to UK, US, and all those things if you're using Enugu Air. Then we know that recently, not just recently, maybe 2 days back, there was a meeting of all the women leaders in APC, and our own state women leader was there because we are now in APC, because we have joined the center. And they came home with a lot of goodies from the president's wife, including vehicles, money, and promises. So a lot of things are coming because we have joined the center. In the next few, maybe I should say in the next budget, whatever, you see that Enugu State will begin to get more things coming to it because of being to the center. The appointments are going to come because we didn't have a governor that was APC then. Most of those things that were coming to Enugu State were being determined by forces outside Enugu. And when you give them turn to Enugu, they give to their people first. I believe in the next, even now, things are already happening. People who are the Federal Election Commission, the Enugu person is there, the Federal Character Commission, and so on. But I know that more are still going to come. Since we joined, I believe that the leverage for joining is not something you can sit down and talk one day. It's going to be coming, and as it comes, you'll be seeing it, and you'll be appreciating the importance.
Okay, traditional rulers, town unions, and civil society organizations play active role in any state, in any government. I've seen them speak with a voice, even though, so to speak, they say they don't play politics. But when you see a good one needs no bush. I've seen endorsements, so to speak, from these other people who are not practically politicians, so to speak. I've seen traditional lawyers say they're happy with what's happening in Enugu State. I've seen the town union, the Unified Town Union in Enugu State. I've seen, I even this morning, yesterday, it came to us that what has happened in Enugu in the past administration that Mbah said, no, I don't want it. The closure of Obeta market for a rally. When you had that, or were part of the people that planned that, to say, look, people are saying, want to shut down a market to come and welcome, you said, let the market do what? This is the first time in my journey into politics, into the media, that people say we are going to shut down to come and wave at you. And he says, no, stay where you are, do your work. Come because you want to come, not because your market is shut. What do you say to this?
So what I say to you is it's something that is symbolic. It shows, again, somebody come from the public sector. And it's a government that came and fought seriously against it at home. That meant closing the markets. So if you now come and say, close the market to come and join the rally, it means there is another way of saying it at home. So he was careful, not allow that kind of thing to get. I mean, they are going to wait for him and clap for him. Should not be allowed to cloud the fact that people are doing business. And when they close shops, some of them come to the shop hoping to get what they used to eat for the next day.
For the weekend, tomorrow is Sunday.
So, yes, if you close market today, tomorrow it will be closed because of church service. So, it was a very good decision to say, I mean, the market leaders were already planning it. They already announced it. When the government had it, they said, no, you don't do such things. It's not for me. People who want to come should come. And people who want to open their shops should open their shops. Moreover, if you close your shop as an individual and come, after the rally, you can still go back to your shop. Or if the rally is starting by 12, you can open your shop by 8 or 9. After that time, you come. But that is personal decision, not people being forced to close their shops and come and wave to the government.
These are things you can't stop. But opposition must happen. Now, you've been a peaceful man, you don't attack the position, but I want to say, what is the advice to those who are gathering, who are not seeing what you are seeing? Can you talk to them?
not that they're not seeing what I'm saying. They see what I'm saying.
They don't believe what you mean.
They probably see it in a different angle. If somebody sees smart school coming up, and what he sees that the farmland has been destroyed, he's not seeing the smart school coming up. The opposition is really good. If there's no opposition, it looks like the government will be kind of complacent about whatever they're doing. They just take everything for granted. But since you know there's opposition, when you want to do something, you must plan it very well. Look at the pros and cons. Look at where they're going to attack you from, and you plug the holes. The opposition is here in Enugu. But I believe that now the greatest thing you have for yourself is that the people are with you. When I say people, I mean majority of the Enugu are with our governor, and they will all be ready to vote for him when the election starts. Since we have not started campaigning, we won't talk about that for now. But the point is that the opposition is when you do what is called constructive criticism, it will make sense. Not that this thing is nonsense. What's Peter Mbah doing here? When he's doing a road that is supposed to be done, you now say this road should have been like maybe 15 meters wide. Why is he making it 8 meters? You should have been dual carriage. But the road there was almost non-existent. You can see people talking about even the road going to Nsoka, to OP. It's because people who do not reason properly might want to always attack something that's been done by somebody else. Not because that thing is bad. It feels it could have been better. Even in Nigeria, see how oppositions come in. They criticize government in power. When they come in, sometimes they get worse than the ones they criticize. But the opposition is usually good though, because it keeps the government on its toes. So you don't just do things anyhow and think you're good about it. So the oppositions, I support them. They can always oppose, they can always criticize, but they should be constructive and make sense when they're doing that.
Okay, there's an unwritten perception, so to speak, or if you like, an ongoing perception that the former Labour predecessor candidate, P2B, who's now in NDC, holds a significant control over the southeast. And they said your party did everything well, clandestinely, so to speak, to ensure it's not in the ballot. You're not national chairman of the party, so you can't be speaking to that. But of course, they also believe that that P2B grip is also considerable in Enugu state, and that perhaps it might affect the chances of APC winning Enugu state. So what do you say to that? And what, without letting out your tactics, how do you think you can overcome the P2B influence?
You mean it's going to stop APC winning Enugu state governorship?
No, that's what I'm saying. Of course, that's everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, as far as we're concerned, our governor, Mbah, has made a significant impact in the minds of Enugu state, both physically, in the infrastructure, and even on their subconscious, saying that somebody like this exists. Now, whatever happens at the presidential, whether, there's a difference between what we might call real politics and what's the other one? Social media politics.
Okay.
They're two different things. When you come to reality, it might not be as you see it there to be. When you see a crowd on camera, that crowd, when you take it down, might not be up to 0.1% of people in that area, but they have come. And when you see some of those crowds, you begin to wonder, are you sure these are the real voters? Or people who have come up?
Do you even have a card to vote?
Yeah. So whatever happens, we are working our own way to make sure we deliver our governor and our president in Enugu state. And we the Enugu have come to realize that our slogan is now Ebesela Aziza and not Ebesela any other thing. And we're working towards that to make sure we take the message down to the grassroots. That once you know you're with Peter Mbah, look out for the broom. That's where you put your thumb to make sure that Peter Mbah continues to finish what he's doing. It's only because of level of education, level of literacy, and again, illiteracy in the country, that people need to do all this kind of campaign, going to tell them. Otherwise, and that's even why they do election on different days. If you go for election, they give you five papers to vote. To be president, you know who you're looking for in each of them. But if it's the rural area, once you give him 5 papers, you'll be looking for broom. whether he knows person or not. So, but I think the impact of anybody, we are not really interested in playing what you might call ethnic politics and so on. But in as much as we know that we are looking for the best way for Igbo to have a proper grip in governance. And it must not be an immediate thing. Politics is a strategic thing. Somebody can plan to become maybe a president, to take him. The president said it took him 30 years to plan for this. So he mustn't plan to get it in the next election. So that is what I say. For us in Enugu, we are doing everything we can, like you said, not to let anything out, but we make sure that our governor and our president be delivered come 16th January and 6th February.
Okay, I know you're heading to Opera Square, so I will have 1 or 2 questions to round up this. But ahead of, there's one thing I'm going to ask you, and that has to do with the Enugu North Territorial Zone slot. You know, I'm a media guy, and there were these accusations that you favor the candidate, and that was Ikeja Asogwa. That they accuse you of bias. I don't know what really happened, but now Ikeja Asogwa has a ticket. So how do you address that issue of Ikeja Asogwa emerging as candidate? Did you play any particular underground role for him to emerge?
Well, it's not that way. I don't come from Enugu North Central Zone, so that's what I could have done. And the primary was the one we call direct primaries, which means all the people who are card carrying members in the 6 local government voted. Whoever is accusing me, like you said, like you know, people are free, entitled to their opinion. Whether it is right or wrong becomes another issue. I wasn't troubling anybody. I know that it was Enugu North that should produce the Senate to replace our fallen hero. That is Kezia, of blessed memory. His soul in peace. Then Ikeja Asogwa emerged. I didn't know who and who were in the contest at the time they started accusing me. And if I will even say that if my strength or power had gone to a level of putting a senatorial candidate in the Senate, then I have become too powerful. But I don't think there's something like that. The accusation is wrongly placed, and I stay here to inform that I didn't do anything to favor Ikeja Asogwa. That is true. But I know that today he's the candidate. Ikeja Asogwa has been a very, very strong member of the party. A former state chairman of the party. Former what's it called? MD Housing and the Subeb,
yes,
things like that. People who has been funding the party in all kinds of ways. So I don't think his winning should come as a surprise to anybody. But I did not do anything to deliver his candidacy.
Okay, the second to last question. Local government elections. That is just a couple of months away from now. You've done what you ought to do. Your party has done what you ought to do. You picked your councillors, and then you have also elected candidates for the local government.
We elected both of them.
Yeah. So
we didn't pick councillors.
Yeah. So what's with people's expectation? Are you going to concede some seats to other political parties come this September? Or do you foresee a clean sweep given what the APC stands for in Enugu State now?
I don't understand what you mean by giving some people to anything. It's a contest. If you win, you lose. But they asked that to allow the youth to go back. They said they should go and contest. If they win, they will be president. So it's a contest. We're going for election. And while we're submitting our forms, other parties are also submitting forms. I think we have up to 8 or 10 parties contesting for the chairmanship. But the problem they have is that none of them is fielding candidates in all the local governments and all the 260.
They do what they have competitive advantage.
So it depends on how many people they have. You might not have up to 260 people to vote. But we are looking forward to a peaceful contest as usual, and we are going to provide a level playing ground. If you go to NSEC office, people are coming and going, not just APC people, but even PDP people, even NDC, all parties that have candidates are coming. But then you think of what's the number you have, or it's just some of them are just going there to prepare to go to court or prepare whether you come and somebody come and ask them for settlement. You ask someone for settlement if you think the person has any, what do you call it, any advantage. But I believe it's going to be a level playing ground. I don't see this thing was happening. We were getting 17/17, but we had other governors. Now that we have a performing governor, are you expecting anything less than 17/17 or 260/260? We still expect that if there was anything to be higher, it will be, but it can't be anything higher than 17/17 or 260/260. So I believe that our party will still should be polled unless any, I don't know, what do you call it, magic order.
Okay.
Well, my message to Enugu is that they should look at what the government has done and use it to judge him. Look at what has happened in Enugu State. I already have what I will describe as my own, what I call it, poem or speech or whatever. That there's a tradition in Enugu State that every governor goes twice. I'm still saying that Chimareke went twice. Sullivan went twice. Ifeanyi went twice. So why would the working governor, Peter Mbah, not go twice? I appeal to Enugu to do the needful, do what they know how best to do, and that is returning their governor, especially this one that has done exceedingly well. So I appeal with them and the chairman of the party, and I cannot stop begging them. And I will continue to beg them until it's delivered. They will come to thank them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, Dr. Martin Chukwumeke, State Chairman of the APC, for even on a busy day like this. A very busy day for you like this. You decided to spare time to be here. I want to thank you. And one thing you have demonstrated continuously is that you're not afraid to talk to the people. You're not afraid to appeal to the people. You're not afraid to showcase what the governor is doing and what the party is doing. And for that, I'm sure members of the fourth estate of the realm will remain grateful to you. We had people who shy away from the media. Maybe because I don't know whether it's because they have nothing to say. But even those who have something to say, find it difficult to. But at every moment you are here. We appreciate that. I want to take it for granted.
Thank you.
I wish you success as you go to Opera Square. To yet get another cap on the feather, on the already crowded feather of your party and the governor in Enugu State. Thank you very much.
I also hope the fourth estate will vote for us.
Our job is simple. Our job is to show what we are doing, yes, and be inform the people, so that they make a very wise choice.
But you must also make your choice.
Sometimes we will be even on that day, but no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.